Ever since 2017, I've been keeping up with Kamen Rider, Super Sentai, and Ultraman's near-weekly episode releases. Week after week, year after year, new show after new show. That's nearly a decade at this point, on top of catching up with the history of these franchises' backlog. To focus on Ultraman specifically, 2023 and 2024 brought Ultraman Blazar and Arc, which were great changes of pace for the franchise after relying on legacy gimmicks for so long. These entries refocused on the special effects specialty and funny yet fearsome kaijus that made Ultra stand out from its contemporaries. Arc especially hit me in a special place to the point of breaking my top 3 Ultra series in general. Then, in 2025, comes Omega. Ultraman Omega is the one that came after Arc, and it was a series that took a lot of time for me to fully understand. This is the most conflicted I've been with an Ultra show ever. Even series I don't vibe with, like Ginga S, I'm confident in the stuff I don't like in, but with Omega, it was trickier to put my finger on what I liked and didn't like. I liked the two main characters, Sotaro and Kosei, who we'll get more into later, but the main female character, Ayumi, felt very underdeveloped despite having some pretty important roles later on in the show. I also didn't like most of the first half's episode concepts. I thought they lacked the sci-fi or creative edge I wanted from my Ultra series. The episodes mostly focused on human drama between our two leads, which I didn't mind. I generally like that stuff in the series, but it did make the kaiju appearances feel more like an afterthought in the episodes. I felt there could have been a better way to balance both the human drama and kaiju sci-fi stuff. I also thought that the fight choreography and special effects, while solid, were a bit more tame compared to the last few years of Ultra, which kept upping the ante every year. Then the second half of Omega happens, and we slowly but surely get more creative episodic plots complemented with more energetic action directing. Episode 18 and 19 were standouts in that regard, with 18 integrating the monster into the core character conflict with a creepy atmosphere to boot, while 19 is a cool tribute to childhood filmmaking and low-budget techniques that define tokusatsu to this day. Thanks Kiyotaka Taguchi for helping direct these great episodes. While the episode-to-episode quality is a bit mixed, the overall storyline the show builds to at the end makes it well worth the watch in my opinion. Speaking of the ending, I feel like I want to talk about it along with talking about the two main protagonist arcs, so if you don't want to get spoiled on the end to Omega, click away. So Sotaro's an amnesiac alien who can transform into Omega, starting off as an aloof fish out of water and learning to love humanity through his adventures in relationship with Kosei. Kosei is an average energetic 20-something who becomes a monster tamer after meeting Sotaro, controlling special kaiju to help Omega fight his foes. The gradual build-up of the two boys' dynamic is very entertaining, which makes the ultimate reveal of Sotaro's purpose as a space gazer hit harder. He was not supposed to interfere in humanity's affairs in the first place, just simply watching over them to learn from their mistakes and triumphs. But you don't truly learn anything unless you do something, otherwise it's just cowardly apathy to just observe tragedy. Sotaro loves this planet, flaws and all, even sacrificing himself for it by the end of the series and fusing with Kosei to become the new Omega. Yeah, it's a cool moment if you know your Ultra series history and realizes that this entire show has been building up to what happened in the inciting incident of the first Ultraman show's first episode, but it's also just a complete progression of Sotaro and Kosei's arcs that works even without the knowledge of the history. Omega still has glaring problems with me, even after the major recontextualization of its final 3 episodes. The female characters barely have anything to work with in the show compared to the past recent series, and the slow burn of the first half can be frustrating to get to the damn point, but the highs are well worth it, especially if you can get behind the two main leads. Omega is overall good, just not great, and sometimes that's fine for a long-running series like this. But man, this new generation stuff is the longest an Ultraman era has run, and this year will be the 60th anniversary of the whole series. For better or worse, this next series is going to be an interesting one.